Okay, so the third technique we're going to use is the two-chair technique. Um, Basically, Lauren is a 30-year-old white Caucasian female. She is single, lives by herself in a decent two-bedroom apartment in a nice part of town. She makes a nice salary and comes from a stable background. She has worked at her job for 9 years, and this is her first job out of college. Lately, she's had trouble making deadlines, and the quality of her work has slipped. Hello, and welcome to your counseling session. Please have a seat.
Thank you so much. I'm hoping you can help me with the problem I'm having.
So what seems to be the problem today?
Well, it seems I'm having a really hard time making deadlines and getting my work done.
I see. So what's causing you to miss your deadlines?
Well, when I start on a project, I tend to stop and play card games on my computer.
I see.
Like, for instance, just this morning, I was working on a report that my boss needed done by noon. I started on it, and when I came in at 8 o'clock, I worked on it for about 10 minutes, and I started getting anxious and bored and kept losing interest in what I was doing.
Sure. Yeah, go on.
So I opened up a game of solitaire on my computer. I thought it would calm my nerves to play a quick game, but the quick game ended up being 2, and those 2 became 5, and before I knew it, it was 11 o'clock.
Oh my goodness. That must have been really a stomach-dropping moment.
It really was. I had to rush to get the report done. I handed it in just before deadline, but I know I didn't do my best work. There were several errors in my report, and my boss was so furious. I thought for sure I was going to get fired.
Okay. So I take it this isn't the first time that this has happened. Procrastinating on projects until the last minute, usually by playing these computer games?
It has happened several times before. I've been written up on numerous occasions for sloppy work, and I'm afraid that my boss is going to fire me.
Oh. What do you do for a living?
I do quality assurance for a company that makes nipples.
I'm sorry, nipples?
Yes, nipples. For baby bottles.
Okay.
What did you think I was talking about?
Oh, nothing. There's this guy I knew once who... But anyway, please continue.
I'm afraid that if I keep slipping up and making mistakes, that I'm going to lose my job. Just last week, a batch of nipples went out that had 2 heads on them.
Oh, goodness.
It was my fault that it happened because I was 30 minutes deep into a game of Freecell.
Oh, I take it your boss was angry.
Angry? He was furious. His head was going to pop right off in front of everyone. He just kept saying, "You can't let those deformed nipples go out on the street," over and over again.
Oh, good. Okay, well, distractions aside, do you feel that you're good at your job? Do you feel like if you didn't have these distractions in front of you, do you think you could excel at your job?
I honestly do. I was really good at my job for a really long time. Then last year, the company upgraded our computer systems. All of these games came pre-installed. My old computer didn't have any of those games on them. So I tried playing a game of solitaire. Then I started playing the harder games like Pyramid and Freecell.
Go on.
And before long, I was spending hours and hours playing hearts online.
Oh, I see. So did you ever discuss with your boss your addiction to these games? I mean, did you ever let him know that these games have become somewhat of a hindrance for you?
No, I've never brought it up because I didn't want to lose the games. I knew he would take them away from me. I don't think I can function without them.
Oh, I see. Well, have there been an instance where you've had to work at a different station, like if your computer was down and you had to work in a different location? How would you function then?
Well, there was this time a few months back where we had to work in a temporary office space. Our office was being fumigated at the time, and we were assigned laptop computers and worked from a motel conference room. There weren't any games on that computer, and the Wi-Fi in the motel wasn't all that great.
I see. So without the distraction of car games, you were able to function and perform your job duties.
At first, it felt like I was almost withdrawing from the card games. I even went so far as to go to the motel gift shop if they sold any deck of cards. But after a little while, I started working on my project and got a lot of good work done. For 3 days, I was in that conference room on the laptop, and it was the best work I've done in years.
Okay. So what about your anxiety? Do you feel that burden as you worked?
Actually, no. after I realized that I wasn't gonna be able to play the card games, I accepted that fact and I went to work.
Okay. What about other types of games, not necessarily computer-based? You find yourself, I don't know, playing like video games, console games, like Super Mario, Halo, Grand Theft Auto, anything like that?
No, not particularly. I've played games like Super Mario and Legend of Zelda many times, but I can take it or leave it. I don't have the real desire to play those games.
Okay. And what about other card games like poker or blackjack? Do you feel compelled to play these games as well? I mean, do you ever feel yourself needing to maybe possibly gamble?
Again, not really. I played poker before online and in real life. It doesn't really affect me that much either. I don't really feel compelled to gamble.
Okay. So basically what I'm hearing is you like to play these solitaire-based card games on your work computer. And it sounds to me like you're telling me that you don't really have the desire to play anything else outside of those games.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It feels sort of frustrating, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, I can see how that would be frustrating. You feel compelled to play these games when you know there are dire consequences to be had if you do. And you're to the point now that you're so compelled to play these games that it's affecting your work and you're in danger of losing your job.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel. I know I shouldn't play, but I just can't help it.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'd like you to try a technique for me. I'd like to see if this could be beneficial to you in some way. It's called what we call in business the two-chair technique. You'll see that there's a chair sitting across the room from you, right here in front of you.
I do, yes.
Now, what I'm going to do is move this chair over in front of you. Now, what I want you to do is to actually take the part. Take the part of you that's addicted to these card games, and I want you to give this part a name. What would you like to call this part?
Gee, I don't know. I guess we could call it something like Ace.
Okay, good. Now, I want you to face the chair, and I want you to talk to Ace, the part of you that feels compelled to play these card games, despite the dire consequences that surround you.
Just face the chair and talk?
Absolutely, absolutely. Take the chair, talk to the chair as if that chair is the part of you sitting there, facing you. Listen to what you have to say without interruption. So please, by all means, speak to Ace.
Okay, here goes. I hate the fact that I have to sit here and play games at work, Ace. I hate that I'm risking my professional career in something so meaningless and unnecessary. There's no game in this world that's worth losing my high-paying nipple job over, Ace. Why won't you leave me alone? Why won't you just let me be a normal person and work? Why do you constantly see cards flashing before my eyes when I concentrate on work? Why do I feel so anxious when I'm not playing cards, stacking red cards on black cards so they'll float away? I don't want to get fired from my job, Ace, and I'm scared to death that you're going to cause me to lose my job. Just please leave me alone.
Thank you. I know that had to be really hard for you. But now I'd like for you to switch chairs. Just get out from this one and sit right here. Now, you're going to take the spot of Ace. Now, what I want you to do is, Ace, talk to Lauren again. And just speak from Ace's perspective. Back at yourself. Just be open and honest.
Okay, I can do that. You're using me as a crutch, Lauren. You know that the competition in this work is getting stronger and stronger. There's lots of people that want to work in the nipple business. The generation is going to pass you by and take everything you've worked hard to accomplish, and that makes you obsolete. You're looking for me for comfort. I am your escape, and I am your crutch for when you feel the anxiety of being passed by. You're using me as an excuse. You don't want to admit to yourself there are others out there better and stronger and hungrier than you are. You're using me. You are using me as an excuse so that you'll have something to blame once you eventually get fired. You want to blame me, a computer game, so you don't have to admit that you're just not good enough to make it in the nipple business?
Oh, thank you so much. I know that was really had to be hard for you to say. You can have your seat back there. So, listen, is that actually how you feel? Is that actually how you feel? Do you think that you're using these card games as a crutch? I mean, as an easy excuse if you inevitably lose your job?
You know what? I think so. The company has been hiring more people, and they all seem to have these fancy degrees, and they're all super eager. I can tell they would do almost anything to get to the top of that Nibble Mountain. I'm afraid that I'm going to be lost in the shuffle.
Well, have you heard any inklings before of any of this happening, or that your job is in any kind of danger in any way?
Looking back on it, probably not. I think I've been overly paranoid about some of the new hires. Most of them seem like climb to the corporate ladder at all costs types, and I guess I was worried that they were gunning for my position in the company.
Okay. Well, what about now? Do you feel your job's still in jeopardy? Do you think that you've done so much damage to your reputation as it stands that all hope is lost?
I don't know. I mean, the boss hasn't fired me yet or anything. He's threatened it during my write-ups, but he hasn't yet. I think maybe he knows that the last 6 months have been pretty rocky, but my job performance was above par for the last 8.5 years. Maybe he doesn't want to lose my experience.
Well, that's good. That's really good. Now we have some options in front of us here. Now, the first option would be you could admit this to your boss. Let him know that you have a card game addiction and admit that this has caused your recent work gas. You could also maybe replace your card game habit with something else, maybe some light exercise, writing in a journal, something like that. Or a third option, you can actually talk to your IT department at work and see if they can remove those card games from your work computer altogether. Now, of those three options, which one sounds most appealing to you?
I don't know that the first option would be good at an idea. If I tell my boss that I have a computer game addiction, he may think less of me and I could end up losing my status at the company or even my job. I guess replacing the bad habit with something else. But I'm afraid that if I simply replace one behavior with another, I'll start on the same vicious cycle with another. The third option, though, sounds like it could work best for me. I have a good relationship with our IT department, and I'm sure they would take the program off the computer for me. I did good work when I worked on the laptop at the motel conference room, but I didn't have the distraction of solitaire on to tie me down. So yeah, I think I could do that next week.
Okay, good. Okay, so during this coming week, have your IT department remove the card games immediately. The sooner the better. Get it out of the way. The sooner you remove them, the sooner the temptation to play is gone. Afterwards, carry on with your previous routine. Do your job, go about your business, concentrate on your work, and see where that takes you. And next week, we'll discuss the results of this experiment.
Okay, thank you so much. This has helped me a lot.
Oh, you're very welcome.